And now recognize Dr. Autry for his 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, and honorable members of the committee. I am testifying on my own behalf. The views expressed here are not the views of any organization. I will speak on the specific strategic significance of extraterrestrial resource extraction in the context of China's competitive space development agenda. My remarks are not intended to disparage the people of China. They are aimed at the corrupt dictatorship that exploits its people and threatens our planet. I also appreciate the nonpartisan nature of space policy. Seeing this hearing, Dr. A.J. Mashal, a colleague of mine from Purdue, sent me a note. He wrote, "Strategic materials and manufacturing have always created new, real wealth. America has handed that source of wealth to other nations in every key sector, from semiconductors to aerospace. Space is a new frontier and offers a second chance to revise that era and to go from being consumers to makers. That process must begin with the supply of basic factor inputs, including minerals." Dr. Malche's comments underscore how appropriate it is for this important decision to be held now in this committee. Dr. Malche's observations are driven by a Keynesian economic perspective which prioritizes consumption above production. When our economy slows, the prescription is always stimulate the consumers into the mall. This has funded a dangerous military dictatorship and pushed us into stagflation. The Chinese Communist Party, on the other hand, harbors no delusions about the source of national wealth and power. It is laser-focused on capital, resources, and productive capacity, as we once were. China buys mines and lands in Africa, Latin America, and even in the US, and then blocks others from buying theirs. Earth's moon, on the other hand, is roughly the size of Africa, is covered with impact craters, and some of these are composed of nickel and iron and platinum group metal asteroid cores. Analysis of NASA data suggests that an enormous mass concentration is buried near the moon's south pole. Dr. Peter James of Baylor University describes that as a pile of metal 5 times larger than the big island of Hawaii. NASA's Psyche mission will be the first to visit a metal asteroid. The press has suggested that mining Psyche will make us all billionaires. The reality is that when we do learn to mine these materials, market prices will adjust, but everyone on Earth will lead richer lives. Astroforge of Huntington Beach, California, is focused on the return of important platinum group metals that are rare here on Earth. TransAstra is planning on mining ice near the poles for water, as well as oxygen and hydrogen for rocket power. Origin Space of Shenzhen, China, on the other hand, has raised 150 million yuan, and China's Moonzar is all in on the idea of extracting helium-3 from lunar regolith for fusion power. The Chinese know that space mining challenges are surmountable and will produce positive externalities, and they're working on it now. Mining on the moon and asteroids, processing ore, and delivering products to our markets in space or Earth is not simple and will not happen quickly. It will demand advances like AI-controlled mining equipment and automation and nuclear power solutions. Technological spin-offs from the first space race enriched our nation and transformed the world. Technologies required for space mining will also be applicable to Earth. Now, I know some will suggest that we halt space development until we deal with every problem on Earth or till we can ensure that resources are equitably distributed for everyone on Earth. I appreciate that. But the CCP will continue without regard to rights or rules, and they will leverage their monopolies against nations large and small. Any delay in America's development of space resources, no matter how well intended, will leave the field to that rapacious regime. I have some recommended actions for Congress. Provide additional R&D funding for dual-use technologies that enable both space resource extraction and advanced terrestrial mining, including the detection of subsurface mineral deposits and AI-enabled autonomous deep mining systems. Support a permanent and sustainable presence on the moon with our partners in the Artemis Accords. Appropriate additional funding to NASA's Science Mission Directorate for continued exploration of lunar and asteroid resources. Appropriate additional funding to DOE and NASA's Space Technology Mission Directorate for the development of nuclear space power solutions. Further clarify our interpretation of the Outer Space Treaty in language that supports a legal framework conducive to the development of space resources by private actors, including the security of exclusive operating areas in ways that will allow space mining to be transferable and collateralizable. Clearly direct the U.S. Space Force to prepare for the future protection of American commerce in cislunar space and celestial bodies. Let me close with a quote often attributed to Eleanor Roosevelt that I think speaks to the topic of why we should do this now. She said, "The future belongs to those who show up." Thank you.